I guess we can call this video Tuki Log 2, since I made a video explaining what this app I'm building for Senegal is. So my brother came up with this cool idea. He sent me a text message on WhatsApp, knowing I like to build apps. He's like, so he goes to Dhaka for work from Linge, right? And sometimes he goes back to Linge. He thinks it would be a cool idea if he can hitch a ride with somebody who also happens to be going that same day. For example, let's say someone needs to get to St. Louis next Saturday. If a driver, in the town just also happens to be leaving to St. Louis, um, they can be like, hey, you know, I see you're leaving on Saturday, March, whatever. Can I catch a ride with you? And the driver can set their own prices. Be like, yeah, it's only charging like, you can get on my car for like $10 or whatnot, and they can drive right on over there. All right, really easy, really simple. And then same way, vice versa. All right. So I got some designs. Tuki, my brother, came up with the name. Midjourney made the logo. It translates for something. I forgot. It's some Wolof, like "let's go" or "let's drive" or something. I don't remember. If you're Senegalese and and you speak Wolof, or if anybody speaks Wolof, you probably know. But this is kind of design I got, right. So you can basically like the authentication. This will be built with React Native and Supabase. But you can browse for drivers, see when they're leaving, how many seats they got available. This one doesn't have a. Oh yeah, there's it. It's the date, right? Some driver info. So it's kind of like Uber, but very simplified. Because it's basically just like kind of like a shuttle booking RSVP app, right? Just see who's leaving, book it, pay for it, and show up to like a bus stop. So yeah, he's charging $7 a seat, right? You can chat with them. You can view the route. You can book the ride, see the vehicle. The designer I had help me make this added seat selection. I will be removing that. I don't think it makes sense to have it this way for a car. So this will be gone. Um, However, or maybe you don't need to select the seat. Maybe it'll be like an indicator showing how many seats are filled up, right? And there needs to be a way to see who's paid for it and who hasn't paid for it for the driver, because I'm gonna cash is king in Senegal, so I'm gonna do online payments. I'm not sure what I'll use. I think they use Orange Money, and I think Orange has a API for that. I have to see. I have to do more research. You see the route, things like that. Boom, boom, boom. But yeah, very simple. And then, I just had designed a few screens, but there'll be a driver account and a passenger account. Perhaps there'll be two separate apps. I haven't decided yet, right? So that's the app. Now, here is what I need to think about, right? So the what is it? It's a carpooling app slash gets ride hailing app for Senegalese to hitch a ride with people who have cars. Why? Because drivers need to make extra income. People need to find more methods of travel that is affordable. Uh, so the how are we going to do this? We can have an app facilitate those interactions and allow passengers to RSVP for a ride, and drivers can post when they're leaving. So development, I'm going to start around May or maybe somewhere in the summer, July. Tight schedule to build other apps. React Native and Supabase for the tech stack. To dos, I need to map out further designs and database model, like some of the schemas and whatnot. Um, the features, so the driver count, they can post departure time, location, destination. They can set a price. They can set payments online or cash. This is maybe, I'm not sure what we'll do for this one, but we'll figure it out. Cancel or reschedule rides. Passengers can find rides to a location, select a ride, reserve it, pay for it. So the few things we have to think about. What if what if a driver cancels, right? Because now that person who was going to be there now can't get there. They might just have to be out of luck, or maybe see if we can find another ride. And of course, we have to handle refunds if we're doing payments through the app. What if a person does not pay yet but RSVPs, because we're allowing cash payments. So maybe we can like show the driver, hey, you got a seat reserved, but this person hasn't paid. They'll pay when they get there. All right. What if passenger or driver does not show up? So one, if the person who is paying with cash hasn't shown up, well, now they have an extra seat available, and it's like, dang, I just lost $7, right? But they wouldn't have known that person didn't show up till the day of departure. So they kind of miss out, and it's like, what do we do in that case? Is there something we can do? Um, Same thing with the driver. Like, what if people paid or whatnot? If people pay, they get a refund. We have to figure that out. And people showed up and the driver's not there. It's like, you know, and we also have to make sure there's communication between driver and passenger. So there will have to be messaging. So let me add that to I guess broader features. Say like other, and now it's like this is where it gets to the simple app isn't quite so simple or straightforward because now you got to build messaging. Oh wait, why'd I put feature messaging? Right, but I can build this in once I get brushed up on React Native, it's just a matter of authentication, onboarding. I don't have if the goal is not to make it look pretty, which is not, it's just to make it work. I can build it in like 2 weeks, maybe less. That's not including payments or messaging. Um, I think I'll put Orange Money for API for payments and maybe see how Stripe can play a role. Maybe. All right. Pick up and drop off location. So unlike Uber, we are not unlike Uber, we're not going to show a map on the app because we're not necessarily tracking. It's point A to point B. It's not like you don't need to kind of see it or maybe how far. Maybe there will be. It's just like a way to simplify the app. I think I scared my friends when I was like, I'm not tracking anybody, and they're like, "Whoa, that doesn't sound safe." And I was like, "Nah." But again, it's just for the MVP, and it'll be really closed testing. But you know, we don't need to track when we put it in a private beta between me and my brother. But we do need to, figure out how we're gonna make sure people get to their location safely. I mean, I'm sure people in Senegal, if you know Africa, or you've been to Senegal, you kind of know it's a little different. Um, like for example, when I went to Senegal, and I was taking a shuttle, like people were packing their luggage on top of the roof and putting their goats on top, and it was like that doesn't seem safe. It's just like it's a little kind of a wild, wild west. I'm sure my brother caught rides with strangers, you know, and those strangers could have, who known, could have taken him somewhere else or taken him to where he wasn't going to be, um, you know. But when you're mailing an app that is facilitating those interactions, and payments involved and things like that, you're liable for possibly what happens. So how do we do that in a legal sense? So I'll just put safety here. So it's something to think about when we do launch it or do an open beta. But I'm sure my brother and maybe one or two people he knows, and when I get there in December, we can kind of do a little test. When they make it to their destination, yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. This is kind of like again, I build in public. I log all the things I do. If there's any Senegalese watching this, any developers in Africa who are watching this, I would love your input, love some advice. Of course, there's competition in Senegal. I think Hitch, and there's another one. I think it's a Russian app, not Hitch car app. Yeah, this app is in. I think it's Hitch. Let me see. Senegalese ride hailing app. Ride share app. I forgot. I think it's like purple or something. Tango? Yeah, Yango. That's what it was. There's also Senegalese unregulated ride hailing apps take on taxis. There's also like if you're familiar with the issue Uber was having with New York City. New York City drivers or New York City taxi drivers were like fighting against Uber, taxi drivers everywhere. And Senegal is having a similar situation where ride-hailing apps are showing up to like the airport, and they don't have any documentation to say like you're a taxi, so they're able to just show up, give people rides. Whereas taxi drivers are like, you're taking our business, going to the Dakar airport, picking up people, and it's like that's not fair. They have to pay a fee or something and whatnot. So there's also some things we have to look for if we were to launch this thing and do that. It's a really simple app. I'm not really looking to take over Africa or West Africa or grow this. I'm just focused on the Senegambian region. and serving these customers if it does get to that point. Maybe to other apps, but I mean other countries. But I'm not trying to run. Who knows? Maybe my mindset will change. But I kind of shifted from trying to be this big startup founder, entrepreneur, running. I just want to run. Kind of these solopreneur apps. Tuki is not one of them. Tuki is obviously you see something like that. It's like, okay, how do we do that? How do we actually make that work? But the other Mo apps that you see me build are really small that I can run independently. If I can get 3,000 people paying me $8 a month, $12 a month for an app that solves an issue, that's big money for one person. Um, but yeah, I'm just looking to provide jobs to people in Senegal. The population in Senegal and in Africa, about 60% is under the age of 25, 24. So it's very useful. And one of the issues is people need employment. It's jobs. People can't find jobs. Last thing I'll mention is another thing we're doing that's not like Uber is we're just going from it's long distance travel. It's point A to point B, and these routes already or these destinations are already determined. So when a driver's coming from Linge and dropping off somebody, they are not dropping people off at like a bus stop going boom boom boom. It's one place, right? Perhaps we'll set up multiple locations, but maybe that would be a nice way to hire more people, or we could set up like Tuki bus stops stations where let me see if I can pull this up. Maybe in like certain areas, um, we could put like a sign saying like pick up, drop off location. But it's a really cool idea. It's really fun. I'm glad my brother sent me that idea, and it's gonna get built. Whether or not it works, well, that's why I'm not gonna spend time making it look really pretty. It's just let's get it working. Let's do a closed beta, and if my brother's like serious about it and helping me out, he can run things out there while I keep the app updated and do my part. But I'm excited for this. Like I can see it working. I can definitely see it working. And if it was up to me, like if I had the money, we would have our own fleet of cars, our own drivers, and we would be running it like this instead of using other um, other people. And for me personally, I would rather have do it that way. But you gotta pay drivers, maintenance, gas, things like that, insurance, car insurance. I don't even know how car insurance works in Senegal. Um, so yeah, you know, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, I already finished the planning. You won't see another Tugi update until like May, or perhaps maybe in the summer, like July, because I have other projects I'm trying to work on. So yeah, that's me giving more in-depth detail of the planning phase of this app, but it's pretty much all set. I'm just gonna build it and plan out the back end and see how that works. All right. Again, feel free to hit me up with any questions regarding this app, tips, tricks. If you're Senegalese, or if you worked in the market in West Africa or in Africa in general, let me know. All right, y'all. I think that's it. I will catch y'all in a different update regarding a bunch of the other Mo apps and Cali Mo Foods. Those apps are coming soon.